Oh, he said we're good. All right. I like that. Perfect. Thank you all so much for being here, and we will get going in just a moment.
That's good. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Louisville's Emergency Operations Center. We're honored to be joined this morning by Senator Mitch McConnell, a representative from Senator Rand Paul's office, State Director Rob Givens as well, to give an update on the response to the recent flooding and tornadoes that struck our city over the past couple weeks and the amazing recovery that we're underway right now. We're going to focus this press conference today on the flood and the recovery. Happy to answer questions about that. And then on other matters unrelated to that, we'll be calling everyone together later to discuss other items. But we are very happy to report that we are ahead of recovery schedule when it comes to recovering from the historic floods that Louisville suffered over the past couple of weeks. We have made incredible progress since this recovery effort began on Saturday morning, which was less than 24 hours after the Ohio River went back in its banks, and over 300 volunteers showed up on Waterfront Park to begin cleaning up, coming together as this city does time after time to help one another when there are challenging moments. Over the past 3 days since Saturday morning, our public works crews, our contractor, have been working literally from sun up till sundown, cleaning the flood debris, trash, mud from the roads, sidewalks, parking lots, and other public areas. I want to give a giant thanks to all of the volunteers that came out and all of the incredibly hardworking public servants and contractors that we're using to help recover from this. We have some major events coming up with the Kentucky Derby Festival at Waterfront Park starting this weekend with the PNC Tour de Lou, which is an amazing bike race. And I'm thrilled to report that that event, along with all of the other Kentucky Derby Festival events, will be going on as planned, as scheduled, thanks to this amazing recovery effort. In terms of where the recovery efforts have been focused, over the past 3 days, our crews have worked along River Road, from downtown, east of downtown, and in the far southwest corner of our city. I'm proud to report that River Road is now reopened from Witherspoon downtown all the way east to Zorn Avenue. We've also reopened all of the ramps for Zorn Avenue from I-71. In southwest Louisville, we've reopened all the roads in Dixie Beach, Catherine Station, Watson Lane, Lake Dreamland, and will be reopening roads in Abbott's Beach very soon. We're also working as quick as possible to reopen several metro parks along the river, including Eva Bandwin, Cox's Park, and the golf course at Shawnee Park, which was almost totally underwater. Waterfront Park has made amazing progress in these past few days, from where we saw it on Saturday morning to where it is today, and we're excited to get that back open for the Derby Festival events and for the public to continue to enjoy. Right now on River Road between 2nd Street and 9th Street, that is a big focus of our attention right now. There was a significant amount of debris in those areas. Most of that debris has now been removed, and we're focused on removing the mud and the muck that remains from these historic flooding conditions. We hope to get the 3rd Street ramp off of I-64 opened ASAP, and we'll put out a notice when that gets reopened. But that area on River Road between 2nd and 9th Street is a big focus right now. On Friday, I committed to the city that we are going to make sure Louisville is as clean and beautiful as ever in time for the Kentucky Derby. And I am proud to report that we are making progress towards that goal, that our city is going to be as clean and beautiful as ever for the Kentucky Derby Festival events and the 151st running of the Kentucky Derby. Last time our city experienced a flood of this magnitude, it took about 6 weeks for the cleanup to happen. We're going to break that time by a significant margin, thanks to the incredible work by so many people. We are well ahead of schedule. We also want to give an update on impacted residents. This flood did more than just damage property and roads and parks that we're cleaning up from. It also impacted people's lives, businesses, and homes. Since Friday, we've been able to get a little bit better assessment of the property damage that took place throughout our city. And this goes back to the tornadoes that we experienced in J-Town, in Fairdale, in Middletown that happened before the flooding even occurred. Currently, we believe that there are about 1,200 homes and businesses across the city that have been damaged by this combination of storms that we suffered. We're very focused right now on homes along Harrods Creek that have been impacted by erosion along Harrods Creek in the Prospect area. Our thoughts are with the residents and businesses who have been negatively impacted by the storms and the flood. We're thankful that no one has suffered a serious injury or worse as a result of this severe weather, and we are doing everything we can to support the residents and businesses in their recovery. And right now, we're working on finalizing our debris cleanup schedule so that we can provide curbside pickup for homeowners and other private property owners that have a significant amount of debris on their private property. We want to be able to clean up all of that debris, and we'll be providing more details on that later this week. One final message is that you may encounter cleanup crews over the coming week. If you see them, please let them do their work. We will let people know when parks have been reopened, when it's time to re-enjoy. But we want to give our crews space to work so they can continue this record-breaking pace of a cleanup in our city. They've done a great job over the past few days, and we do not want to slow them down. And finally, on behalf of all of Metro government, I want to thank everyone that's been involved. All of our crews that have been involved that are part of our city government team and our contractors. I want to thank Governor Beshear and the state of Kentucky for their tremendous support during this as well. And I also want to thank our representatives in Washington. And we're joined here today by Senator McConnell. I want to thank him and the rest of the delegation, Congressman McGarvey, Senator Paul, and all of the others who have joined together to support the response from the federal government through FEMA to provide us with assistance so that we can be reimbursed for these cleanup efforts and that we can continue to move Kentucky forward. Senator, thank you very much for your effort in leading this delegation to ensure that we get the federal response here in Kentucky to help us clean up. And thanks for joining us this morning. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, thank you, Mayor. I'm here because this is my hometown, and I'm obviously concerned when I heard what had happened. Unfortunately, as all of you know, this has been a problem all across our state the last couple of years. Floods, tornadoes. It's been a very, very active period for these kinds of disasters. I remember years ago when, before we went to Metro government, I was running for a local office here, and we had a 6-week ice storm. It didn't go away for 6 weeks. My first year in office, we had it again. And Mayor, our biggest concern was, do we now go out and buy equipment? Is this going to happen every year? Or rent it when it does happen? We decided on the latter, and I think we've not had that kind of disaster since. So local government is very, very challenging, and I'm just here to thank the mayor and his whole team and all the volunteers that have been showing up. They gave me a good briefing before coming out here. It's been a remarkable team effort to get Kentucky ready for the Derby. Thank you for all the volunteers and all the outstanding work that's been done.
Thank you, Senator.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Senator. The senator has to run to another engagement, but we're going to continue with one other quick related announcement and recognition prior to taking your questions about the flood. This week, coincidentally and appropriately, is Public Safety Telecommunications Week. And so I want to ensure that the entire city of Louisville knows how proud we are of all of our public safety telecommunicators that are working right behind us and right behind this wall. They're there for us during natural disasters. They're there for us in times of crisis. They're there for us after challenging public safety events. They're there for us 24/7, working to respond to your calls to ensure that you get the support and quick service and quality public response that you're looking for. So here today with Deputy Director of Emergency Management, Assistant Kelly Jones. And Kelly, on behalf of all of us at Metro Government, on behalf of the entire city, thank you and your team, Amy and everyone else, for what you all do so that Chief O'Neill and all the other first responders can get there quickly, can respond. You all are a key part of our first responders network. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And with that, I'm happy to take any questions that you all have from members of the media.
You mentioned areas that you'd like to focus on, Mayor Greenberg, specifically, southwest corner of the city. Anywhere else that still maybe hasn't been touched as much yet, or you're still planning to get to? What are those continued areas of focus?
Sure. So we are going to focus on every area of the community that suffered flooding. And the areas that suffered the flooding from the Ohio River are southwest, in the west, around the Shawnee Golf Course, and then really from the downtown area east. Those are the areas. So we're going to focus on every area that was touched. Again, really focused on the public areas. Individual property owners are responsible for the cleanup of their property. Of course, we will help them with any type of FEMA or other aid and assistance and reimbursement that is available. And then we'll also clear their debris. But we started right in and around Waterfront Park. We also made sure we got the roads in southwest Jefferson County reopened as well. And then we're going to continue. And if we discover new areas that need attention, we will add those to the list. But right now, we're spread out over all of those areas. We have 16 crews that are working right now from sun up till sundown. And so they're able to spread out around the city. I think we have 4 of them right now that are working between the 2nd and 9th Street areas on River Road. But again, we're trying to get to every area in record time.
This is a question for the senator, obviously, he left. Do you believe President Trump should sign a major disaster declaration to open up some of those FEMA opportunities for the state?
I believe that the FEMA and the federal government should provide all of the response that we expect, which is 87% of the reimbursement is what we're expecting here in Louisville, Jefferson County for our cleanup. So I'm hopeful and have no doubt that the federal government will come through, as they have every other time in the past throughout our nation's history, to support us in this cleanup from this national disaster.
Beyond, like specifically major disaster declaration to allow some of those folks to get the build back costs that they would need. Do you think that's appropriate? Do you think the president should sign them?
I do think that's appropriate, and I'm hopeful that he will do that.
Mayor, we're still in recovery efforts, but if you have a chance to look back to see if there's anything the city has learned from this event and the recovery, and anything that could be done differently or better?
Well, we're always looking to learn. I mean, after we had the historic snowfall earlier this year, we've been gathering. We engaged some consultants to help us make sure we improve so that next time we have historic snow event, we'll do an even better job of clearing our roads and getting the city moving again. So we're in that right now. So far, I'm incredibly pleased and proud of what I've seen. This was the 8th largest flood in our city's history, and the flood protection system that we have invested in over the decades held. It worked. And we were very fortunate not to lose any life, to have serious injuries. And the property damage that we have suffered is on the riverside of the flood protection system for the most part. There was certainly some flash flooding that happened within from when the rain was coming. But in terms of the river flooding, it's worked. And so I think that has shown investing in MSD's flood protection system is incredibly helpful. And then moving quickly is another thing that we've learned is important to do. And that's what we have done. We started planning the cleanup before we were even ready to clean up, so we could work both public agencies with the private sector to move even quicker, knowing it would cost the city some funds, but also knowing that we have this expectation of the FEMA reimbursement. We are prepared to do that Saturday morning. So far, I'm very pleased with what we're seeing. There's always opportunity for improvement, and we'll be debriefing on that as we day by day as we go.
And the Derby Festival of Thunder over Louisville is a huge economic impact. I mean, I was told it's close to $100 million. Businesses, hotels, everything. Is there anything the city can do to help make up that loss of economic impact and to help businesses, hotels, anything?
Yeah, there were several unfortunate things about having to cancel Thunder over Louisville. And one of those things that's incredibly unfortunate is that local businesses do suffer a very significant lost revenue day and evening for them. And unfortunately, because we're not able to reschedule Thunder over Louisville, that is lost revenue. We're very hopeful that people from around the city and state and region come enjoy all of the other Kentucky Derby Festival events, stay and enjoy our restaurants, our hotels. That's part of the reason why this morning I started my morning at the Kentucky Derby Museum and spent 2 hours with radio stations from around the state that were in town to encourage people from all over the state to come visit us here in Louisville during the Kentucky Derby Festival events, but also year-round. And so I'm hopeful that we have record-breaking attendance at the other Kentucky Derby Festival events. Of course, Derby weekend will be good, but I was also talking about the other 48 weeks of the year when there are amazing things to do in Louisville and all the reasons for people to come visit. I'm hopeful that that helps make up for some of the lost impact from losing Thunder over Louisville.
Mayor, on the Harrods Creek, on the homes that are sliding down into Harrods Creek, what exactly is the city doing to help those neighbors? And is anything happening to kind of maybe try to prevent any more from sliding?
Yeah, great question. So we're working with the state. This is a process that's a little bit unique to us that we haven't seen here in Jefferson County yet. So we've reached out to the state. We've got engineers coming in. We've got people at the state level trying to go look, see what's happened, see what all our possibilities are. And again, it's a little bit new to us. And we were discussing it yesterday. It could take us 2 or 3 weeks to figure out exactly what the long-term remedy is. But again, we've spoken personally with both homeowners. They're very comfortable with what we're doing. And we'll not only try to help assist where we can, and if we can, to shore that up, but we'll learn something for the future. So if it happens to us again, we'll be ready for that.
Are you guys going out there at all today, to look at it? Any work being done like right now?
My office is not, because we've already been there a few times, but you could see some people from the state or from those contractors out there on site. That could be possible.
On that topic, do you have any concern now that the floodwaters are receding that there are other homes in that area that could be at risk as this goes forward?
Anything is always possible, but we've not been made aware of any concerns like that. And if we are made aware of it, we'll get on it just as quick as we got on those. Paul. It's unique, Paul. We're working on it to try to understand it. Is it from a flood? Is it an act of God? Is there so many things that could be considered? We're truly in a little bit of new territory right here. If you ask me that question in a week, I'll probably be able to give you a better answer. But it's just a couple of days in. It's new to all of us, and we're trying to figure that out exactly because this office doesn't make that final decision.
Mayor, as far as those 12,000 homes and businesses,
Sorry, 1,200.
Sorry, 1,200. A lot of them are in J-Town. I know they've applied for individual assistance federally. Do you have an update on, have we heard back as far as J-Town is concerned?
So I don't have specific word on that. We do expect that Jefferson County is going to be added to the statewide designation that the governor has issued. The only reason Jefferson County is not yet on that is because when they came to do the assessments, most of Louisville was underwater at that point in time, so they weren't able to fully do the assessments, and so we expect that to be added, and that should help with that as well. But we'll get back to you on the specifics for the J-Town residents here, but we expect that all to happen in the coming days to be available.
Greenberg, and you touched on this a little bit earlier as it comes to curbside pickup and cleanup. Is there a timeline for the cleanup and pickup when homeowners would need to move their debris to the curb? I know you said there's
Yeah, we encourage, so the question was about cleanup and pickup for homeowners. We encourage people to get their debris to the curb as soon as possible. We've been focused on getting the roads clear so that we can then start the cleanup. And so yesterday, we were able to start getting some roads reopened. We still have a few more to go. And then once we know that the roads are open and we can get our trucks through to do the debris cleanup, then we'll announce the schedule. So we encourage people to do it ASAP. At the same time, we know some people have a lot of debris and we want to give them some time so that they can fully get their debris to the curb so that they don't miss this window from the city to do their cleanup.
Matt Gibson had said the other day that they're always considering, especially with the floods, different locations for different parts of the 70+ events that they have leading up to Derby. Is that still a consideration? Will like a chow wagon be somewhere else in the city, not?
So the question was about the Kentucky Derby Festival and moving some of their events based on the weather. So Matt can answer that question better than I can, but my understanding from talking to Matt last night about all these topics is that the festival, for example, formerly known as the Chow Wagon, it's still going to be at the waterfront. They're going to slightly redo the map because the one part of it's cleaned up, but it's still unusable for a large event like the festival, is the north part of the Great Lawn. That's incredibly wet, it's incredibly muddy, and we need to give Mother Nature some more time. There's not much that us humans can do to make it usable for a large event like that. And there were certain things that happened for the festival on that part of the Great Lawn. They're going to move them to another adjacent area. So it's all going to still happen in the same general vicinity, but it'll be slightly different than they originally planned. Same thing with the bike race. They're slightly altering the route, is my understanding, but it will generally go on as planned. So they're working on all those, and Matt and his team at the Kentucky Derby Festival can give all the specifics.
Still around that Witherspoon
Yes.
sort of being of an area.
Yeah, the core of festival will still be at the same location. I was out there last night. You know, it's going to be ready to go.
Unrelated to flooding over here.
Okay, and then we've got to wrap it up, and we'll circle back to it later.
We have seen a unverified social media post about a JCPS student being deported. Is there anything your office can offer?
So the question was about an unverified social media post about a student allegedly at Doss High School that has that is not to be seen right now, and his whereabouts are unknown, at least as of we are trying to confirm that ourselves. As of last night, we don't have any formal confirmation from JCPS. I did receive confirmation that nothing happened at Doss High School related to that, and I'm hopeful that later this morning we can get confirmation as to whether that is true or not. I just don't know whether that is true at this point in time.
Your office says that you'll release the Derby guest list later today. What goes into that process?
That is the hope. We're looking to release this list. I know it's incredibly, there's lots of expectations on who our city's Derby guests are going to be. It's an honor to bring people in from around the country and world to visit Louisville where they might not otherwise visit here, and show them everything that we have to offer.
What kind of people do you want coming in to see the Derby?
We want folks coming into Louisville that might not otherwise be here, that are investing in our city, that are considering investing in our city, that if they knew more about our city, might consider doing something in our city. Those are the types of folks that we're looking to bring to our city to understand what a great place Louisville and Kentucky is, what great things we have going on here, and this is a great opportunity to bring them here when they otherwise might not have otherwise come to Louisville. So I'm excited to release that shortly as well, and we'll certainly let you guys know when we do that. Thank you all very much, and we'll continue to keep you updated.